Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Trench Viper and Cobra. 1 second here. It is the Cobra Modular Fortification. Now you can see it's already out, and that's because at Joe Fest I was able to pick this up, okay? So quick little story. I was hanging out with Daredevil Dave. We were chatting. He said that he walked by and he saw this in a bag, no box. Guy wanted a certain amount for it, not too expensive to be 100% honest. So he picked it up. He said he went back. I said, hey, how much you want for it? We traded some stuff. All's good. But I do have to say, there obviously is no box, so I can't show you the box. Also, it is missing 4 of the legs. Now, I do have 2 of the legs, so it doesn't really matter. They're all the same. So I can still show you, but in actuality, you will get you'll get 4 legs, and then you get two different legs that are made to mount the gun, but we're going to get into that. So anyway, there is your Trench Viper. All right, we're going to take a look at them. We're going to compare them to the other Alley Vipers. I have some extra weapons. Maybe if you want to load them up and you're like, hey, you know what? I like having the Alley Viper weapons on them. I like them all uniformed. Well, you're going to be able to do that because God knows we have a lot of those weapons that have come with other figures, and not to mention a lot of us have a lot of Alley Vipers. So anyway, what we will do is I'll take this thing apart. I'll show you how it goes together. It does have everything that you actually need to see, but once again, I will be comparing it to an actual Cobra porta-potty, which I doubt anyone else will be doing. So that's why you come here, for the outhouse jokes. I made myself laugh. Baldy would be proud. So anyway, there you go. That's what he looks like. Let's get into this because there's really not too much more to say. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you even like when I get a figure and he's out of the box so you're not seeing it open firsthand, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop an opened figure that isn't released yet. That sounded right. Alright, so here it is, opened already, and we will take it apart in a second. But we're going to go over the Trench Viper first, compare him to the Alley Viper, how he looks compared to him, if he's actually worth getting, because I know a lot of people just want this just to get this guy. So anyway, here's the same shield that we've had before. It's got a little bit of digital camo, and even the Cobra symbol is a little, it has a little bit of a paint to it, so it just kind of pops there. On the inside, you got a digital heads up. All right, now on the original one, you had a heads up similar one. It's completely different than that one, but it's the exact same shield. And then with the Crimson one, you have what looks to be the exact same one, just in different colors. So the shield is the exact same. It can be universal. So you can just turn this, use it with whatever arm you want. If you don't know, there's a piece for the forearm that's bigger. This actually goes right over the hand. The best way to get it on is pop off the hand, slide it over. The other thing that you might want to do if you're going to use it on the left is take off the sheath and pop it on the other side. So I don't remember exactly. Yeah, the sheath is actually on the other side, but you can pop it off and put it over there. That's what I did. This one I think I just removed completely. All right. So that's the detail on this. Again, I think we've all seen the Alley Viper and those renders. All right, so here's the Trench Viper. And the first thing you're going to look is it has that logo right in the front, which again, it's the same helmet as the Alley Viper. So quickly looking at him here, it's easy to see he has pinless joints, which is different than the actual Alley Viper. All right, so looking at him here, we can, let me get that on there. He can't really look up. He can kind of look down. You know, his head kind of wobbles back and forth because it is on a neck joint, but we don't get much motion looking up. T-pose is difficult because he has shoulder pauldrons on him. He's going to get the bicep swivel, double elbows. You can get the wrists that pop off fairly easily because originally he actually had the shield on it. You got the big plate carrier right there. So he does have an ab crunch, but unfortunately you're not going to get much out of it. All right, Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is really good along with these drop down hips. He can kick forward so he can sit down, but this might be difficult to get him into a stinger. I've never really tried these figures before. All right, and then here's your pinless double knees, no issues. And again, same articulation as some of the other boot cut, thigh cut, different things like that. So, all right, I'm just trying to bend this thing. All right. So, looking at him though, he has the Cobra symbol painted nicely there. It looks like he is a darker skin tone. Eyes are looking good. You got nice paint on what I'm assuming is like a balaclava underneath it. You got that little snake, like the snake teeth coming up there. These are the same shoulder pauldrons, I believe, that come with the steel cores. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. On his plate carrier, you can see the design right around the neck. You can see some pouches coming down here. You got more pouches there. You got a nice sheath right there. You got the knife that comes out, same as we've seen before. Though it does have a little hole there if you want to put a string on it or something. Painted blade, but it's kind of thick and blunt there. All right, you got the nice pouch here. This almost looks like it's the same thing. This looks like it could be what Grunt came with, where it could flip down. He could have the readings, stuff set to him. Carabiners right here, and then you have your protecting your junk down there. On the back, same thing. You see the straps wrapped completely around. You got the belt going. So again, it does look really nice. All they really did was they took the same head. They took the same the same plate carrier, painted it different, threw it on this guy. But because he has different arms, so you don't have these big these big biceps right here, they were able to slide something on there, so they could reuse a completely different buck, which I am perfectly fine with. All right, on the bottom, you get some more pouches right here, and then you got your holster, and then you got that worst gun that we ever have. So if I'm going to use the gun, I'll probably be swapping that thing out. All right. As for the boots, I think they look good. It's exactly what we want. There's no shin guard anymore to be in the way. Now you do have this digital camo, and it doesn't, again, it looks like it gets lost in translation in certain spots. Like over here, there's really no camo. Same with over here. But all around here, you have this camo. If I popped off the vest, there's probably none behind it because that's extra paint they probably don't want to use. But you can see that it's actually underneath the underneath this pauldron right here. So it looks good, but it does look like if you start really nitpicking and looking, you're going to see where things are missing. All right, and then we can throw this right back on here, maybe. And this one pops on, but I swear the alley vipers just seem to be on really good. All right, and it does flip up. Again, nice looking figure. Again, I think a lot of people really like the way this one looks. I'd be surprised if this one doesn't get repainted and thrown into a box. All right, so there's your figure. And now let's take a look at what this thing comes with, what I'm missing. So first thing we'll start off is with our sandbags, which I do think are real nice. They are actually pretty hefty, to be 100% honest, even though they're completely hollow on the bottom. All right, you can see the way they're tied. They have a texture to make it look like they're actually like sandbag material, and the way they're stacked, it's not just an even stacking. So it'll be nice to get a whole bunch of these. I think I have 2 more of these on order, but they're just going to sit there. You know, they're not going to get knocked over all that easily. All right, here's his machine gun. Now, we've seen this numerous times with other figures, including Rock and Roll, the 60th anniversary soldier. All right, this piece does come out on the back, and if you wanted to change it and plug that in, actually we're plugging it, I guess, this way maybe. You want to use one hand, you can. The design on it is real nice. All right, here's where you're going to cock it back. You got the long barrel. This does plug in if need be. You got the handle so he can walk around with it, because this is really the only weapon they gave him. You got the bullet belt that's kind of sticking out, and again, nice little paint. And it is nice and tight in here, all right? So you're not going to have to worry about that really falling out and losing it. It says Cobra on it. And then what you have here is these are actually the legs to raise this if need be. Again, I only have 2 of them, and you can kind of see how it sits right there. So what these things do have is this little disc, okay? So the disc here is so you can plug some of the other things into it. Well, you can basically plug the machine gun into it, but you can plug other machine guns into it also. Where this here, this radar, all right, I guess we can look at the radar while I have it out here. Nice paint on it, the way it just sticks out. You can just kind of plug that in there and you don't have a problem. All right, let's throw that right back up there. So, like I said, missing a couple legs, but I can still show you how this thing raises up and how it lowers. So if you wanted it off the ground, let's say, you know, you're back in the hills and you need to have the high ground. Well, that's what you're doing. But with all the accessories or everything that it comes with, and we're going to get into it, is you get some extra pieces so you can combine and connect. All right, so here's what you have right here. These are meant to connect, so if you wanted to widen this, you wanted to add to this, because really, even though this is one little bunker, it's meant to be bought with 5, 6, 7, 8. You can put different levels on it. I think that's what you're going to see. I know there's people that are buying like 10 of them. At this point, I should have 3, and that's good for me. I'll be able to raise it if I really want to when the time comes. All right. So again, these just plug in there. These are meant so if you need to extend it, you can kind of just plug it in. It does leave a gap, and we'll get into that in 1 second. And then you have these little pegs here. If I can grab it. These little pegs here. Then if you want to extend the ladder. So if you have 2 on top, you can extend it so they're not going like one to the other. It's just one big long ladder. Or if you raise this up, which I can't do unfortunately, if you want to raise this up, you can have 1 so they walk up to it. Then you give it another 1 so they can climb up all the way to the top. If you're going to be mounting stuff up here, and let's be honest, the way people were 3D printing stuff, that's not that difficult. All right. So we know how all this goes. Now, as for the leg, like I said, this is how the leg is supposed to be. And what we can do is we'll pop this off real quick. And I'll show you. Oh, you know, I didn't look at the ladder. So this is what the ladder looks like. It's just going to clip right onto the back. As you can see, I have this one. All right. And these also can be used to kind of extend it if you need to just mount it so it's not moving back and forth, but it's meant to connect the two, which is really nice because I have, you know, like stuff like this over here. You know, I can have it so he's climbing up onto that first level. A lot of fun, in my opinion. I can deal with stuff like that. All right. So on the bottom, this is where we're going to be able to plug these into. So more than likely, I'd probably plug it in the front, obviously 2 in the back, or on all 4 sides. And they'll just plug, we just actually go the other way. Gonna take the legs. So they should mount like this, and then it would sit up like this. All right. Now, if you wanted to raise it, this thing is meant to. Now, all you have to do is twist this. This piece will actually open up, and then you can raise it up however high you want it. And by looking at it here, you can see there are different spots the way this is going to fit in. All right. So you can raise it to wherever you want, kind of like the tactical battle platform. Just this, I doubt will break. Or if you have a tactical battle platform and you still have the legs, just leave it there. Just I wouldn't move it if you don't have to. All right, so let's take this apart and put it together really quick. So as I showed you, here's how the ladder sits. Now you can kind of plug the little pieces in here so it's not floating. Actually, it would still probably be floating unless if you took the base off completely, which it's real easy to do. So we're going to take this off. Like I said, it clamps onto it. Here we have the top, and you can see the grating on it. So it is meant to look like they're walking on top of it. All right. And we have the radar that can kind of plug right into it. And then you have the spotlight, the searchlight here that pulls right off. And you can kind of see right through it. It's got that nice little yellow tint to it, like he's calling for Batman. It looks like it's meant to flip up. But it is a nice looking accessory, and you can plug it directly into that. So let's say you don't want it up there, you just want them looking for something. Maybe you have it on top of this naked street scene and they're up there and they got that light shining. You can do something like that, all right? So, I'll pop this off. Now, all it is are these 5 little pieces here, and it's going to plug right on top. Now this one is meant for the top as of right now. This thing's weird. Like, this is the top of it, or it can be the base of it. Because this one is actually different, and I'll explain that to you in a second. All right. So on the bottom here, you just have these 2 little divots. Same with right there. Obviously, these divots are for this, but there's no reason for that. These plug directly into there. Then we can pop this off here. And what you can see here is this one has the 5 there. I'm sorry, the 6 there, but it also has 2 in the middle. On the bottom, it just has the 5, so it can plug in. Again, it still has like the steel grates on it. And what that is for is if you have one of these, it's actually meant for the gun. This is what's just a little bit different, and it just plugs right in there. All right. So then you can mount the machine gun. It's going to be pointing out the little gun slot there, and then they can fire on all the Joes that don't know what's about to happen to them. So this is how it's going to open up. It's kind of like a 3-panel pamphlet that someone's going to give you. This piece does come right off. You can see how it plugs in, so it can go on to either side. Oof, knock everything over. So you can mount a whole bunch of different weapons. You can also put stuff going straight down. So you're able to put in a whole bunch of things. I don't think you'd want to have 2 on the exact same level. Also, if somebody is in there, it's going to be hard for them to get weapons. But that's why I say this thing is meant to be opened up. So now you're sitting here like this. It's completely open. You can have this mounted up here. So now you have your weapons rack. As for the inside, it's a tension modular wall. So it's letting you know that these things are all meant to be swapped around. The design on it does look really nice. They have these nice rivets going through it. On this side, the same thing. And you're going to get the same wall over here. Then over here, we're going to get a Cobra symbol on one side. You can see where the rivets were supposed to go through. You get a little bit of weathering of where it's supposed to attach to. 2 different spots, so he can see where he's firing, and then he can actually fire out right here, because I don't think he wants to be crouched down all that much. But the weathering on it does look really nice. All right, so now you want to pop this off. Maybe you want to have 2 walls. Maybe you bought 2 of these so you can pop them in different spots. All right. So this here is so we can put 2 walls together like so. But it's going to create a big gap. All right. Now maybe that doesn't really matter to you. Maybe you got some sort of 3D print that you're going to 3D print, and that's great. All right. These ones here, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what they slide into. I'm thinking they just slide right. And I don't have the instructions. I thought maybe they just slide right in there just to kind of cover it up just a little bit. I mean, that's, to To me, it looks like probably the best case scenario. All right, so. But again, to put this together, kind of decide what side you want the Cobra symbol on. Pop this together. Which again, is extremely easy. And you clearly don't need to have the floor. This here, make sure you put it on the right way. And you do have to kind of just line it up, which is kind of a pain, but I don't think you're going to be taking it off too often, all right? So there you go with that, kind of like that. Here we have these, again, the holes right there, but this is the one that's meant to go on the bottom, unless if this is going on top, because this is exactly where the gun mounts are supposed to be. So it's kind of fooling you there, that the gun mounts are like right in the middle. This one doesn't have it, which means it's the top. It also has the ports here for the radar and the light. So, I'm going to take this, throw it right up here. Remember, doing this on camera is always a pain because half the time you look through the camera, half the time you don't. I would say put weapons in there first on what you're saying. Hey, you know what? I don't have weapons. What do I got right here? I got all these weapons. Got some weapons right here. Look at that. Ooh, what is that? Look at that. Ooh. You guys want some actual retro Viper weapons painted or printed in the same color? Go head on over to Top Fun Retro 3D Toys. And there you go. You can pick up a whole bunch. He's got a few different colors. He also has black. I love this one. With the machine gun drum right there. All painted. All different types of color. But again, I know a lot of you want this color. So can we mount these right up here? Look at that. They fit in there absolutely perfect. Just like the ones for the hiss. Alright. So now we got some weapons right there. We'll leave that. Pop this thing right up on top here. No, you know what? Yeah. So the machine gun does mount right in there. Yeah, not the easiest thing. Bullet belt. But maybe with the proper attachment, I don't have a problem. Oh, actually, I need the disc. Where's that little disc at? Is it right on? Oh, there we go. So the disc. This is what again, I don't know why they really didn't need to create the disc. They could have just made everything the same port size. So once again, you consider firing it through here. You can look through the top. It seems kind of dangerous if you ask me, but hey, who am I? And then we plug that right on top. But that's not what you guys came for. You wanted to see. You guys keep calling this a porta-potty. Well, this is a Cobra porta-potty. And as you can see, they don't look the same. They are different. And even on the inside of the porta-potty, you have Cobra Commander. You got the Cobra logo. All right. There's his recruitment in case someone's coming in there. But yes, if you really want to, you can stack it on top of each other. So if you really want a Cobra porta-potty, there you go. You can mount it right up there. You probably want to do it the other way. This way, like we can move it this way. Now we can have a ladder. And just, let's hope you're not in the shitter when the Joes come and try and take you out. All right. So, back to our Trench Viper, as I said earlier. Maybe you want them uniformed. Well, here's the Alley Viper backpack, which fits them pretty nicely. And depending on what gun you want, here's the classic style. Which, I'll be honest, this looks really good just because of his color, the color of the figure. Of course, try doing this one. This gun always works better in the left hand because of where the magazine is at. So, if you're interested in that, there you go. Let's throw this one on him, to be 100% honest. This piece falls off really easily. I don't know if it's maybe because this one's been out for a while. It's impossible to tell. So, man, I hate these things. So the big vest is still going to cause a problem. So maybe we go a little bit more modern. Take an actual Viper weapon. And throw this on him. I mean, he is a Viper, right? But now he has the actual handle that he can grip onto. But he has the backpack, so he's fully kitted out if you want him to be a trench Viper that is still an alley Viper. I do believe that I can fully see them going with a, I can see them doing a retro alley Viper on this buck, getting rid of the shin guards that really do cause issues with trying to stand him, especially considering he has a hard time leaning forward, which is really needed when it comes to these backpacks. All right, so there you go. That is your somewhat of a battle bunker along with trench Viper compared to an actual Cobra porta-potty. I know everyone likes calling it that, so let's wrap this up. All right, so there you go. That is your trench Viper along with your Cobra modified fortification. It's the battle bunker, let's be honest. That's what everyone's going to call it. It's a lot easier than, you know, all the acronyms that they're trying to use and stuff like that. But anyway, I like the figure. The shoulder pauldrons, as cool as they look, they're probably coming off because they're just going to be in the way. These pauldrons absolutely are awful when it comes to articulating, especially when it comes to the vest like this. I really wish when they did figures like this, especially for army builders where you're going to be doing multiple ones, just sculpt a new buck that has it in it. Because even though you want to use the same mold, and I understand the way they work is they want to be able to use different bucks, but again, you're going to make 100 different versions of these. You're going to make 100 versions of the Viper and the Bat. Just sculpt it in rather than using a plate carrier. I understand with the Joes and maybe the actual named Cobra villains, but with something like this, I wish they just molded it in. I think it'd be a lot easier. But anyway, I do think this is actually pretty cool. I'm looking forward to having all of them. I do apologize for not having everything. I really do like to do it firsthand, but who knows when this thing is coming. And I was able to get my hands on one, and let's be honest, this is something that you know, you're able to add to them, have multiple ones, create a huge diorama, and that's actually what I'm looking for with these. So anyway, there you go, your trench Viper. Love to hear if you got it or if you're looking forward to it. Maybe this review kind of changed your mind. Either way, and as you can see, it's not a porta-potty. That's a porta-potty. That's a bunker. And that it's really cool. You can get on Thingiverse. Thank you to Greg for printing one up for me. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But you've stayed this long. Please take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop even a half-ass review like this one. Don't go anywhere, though. What I'm going to do is point to a dark lawn right here. And down here will be a playlist of all the G.I. Joe, all the classified reviews that I've done. Take care.